Have you ever felt like you're living your life for everyone else, but not for yourself? Like you're constantly sacrificing your peace, energy, and happiness just to make others happy? If so, you're not alone. Many people, especially as they get older, find themselves caught in this cycle, constantly giving, but never receiving the peace and joy they deserve. In today's video, we're diving into the crucial steps you need to take to protect your peace and well-being, and why saying no isn't selfish, but necessary for your happiness. You'll learn why it's so important to prioritize your mental and emotional health at this stage in life, and how setting healthy boundaries can help you enjoy the freedom and joy you've earned over the years. I'll walk you through the dangers of letting others take advantage of your kindness and generosity, and how to recognize when it's time to put yourself first. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how to reclaim your peace, but also how to stop sacrificing your happiness for others. So, if you're ready to take control of your life and live on your terms, stay with us till the end. Trust me, this could be the sign you've been waiting for to make life-changing decisions. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. You've done more than your fair share. You've raised children, worked tirelessly, given your heart and soul, loved unconditionally, and sacrificed in ways that most people could never even begin to understand. You've given everything you've had, but now it's time to ask yourself, why are you still holding on to things that were never yours to bear in the first place? Why are you continuing to carry the weight of other people's problems, their responsibilities, and their demands? You're not a bank, yet people still come to you expecting money. You're not a babysitter, yet they leave their grandkids with you, as if raising them is your job all over again. You're not a nurse, but they act as if you must care for everyone around you, never even considering how you feel or what you need. And if you dare to say no, if you set a boundary, suddenly you're the bad guy. You're judged, criticized, and made to feel guilty for simply taking care of yourself. But let's stop and think for a moment. Who holds them accountable for putting you in that position? Who is there to make sure they don't take advantage of your love, your kindness, and your sense of responsibility? The painful truth is that many people see you as a resource, not as a person. They don't see your humanity, your emotions, or your needs. They just see someone they can use, and that, my friend, is soul-crushing. You've given your all, your time, your energy, your heart, and in return, what do you get? More demands, more blame, more expectations, and an endless cycle of giving without ever receiving anything in return. It's unfair. It's draining. It's unforgivable. It's like being an umbrella that everyone runs to when it starts to rain, but once the storm passes, they leave you soaked and forgotten while they move on with their lives, dry and carefree. How much longer will you let yourself be used, disregarded, and exhausted? How many more times will you allow yourself to be pushed aside while everyone else walks all over you? Listen closely. This isn't love, it's emotional abuse. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a child, a sibling, or a so-called friend. If people are overwhelming you with their demands, stealing your peace, and forcing you to carry burdens that don't belong to you, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to say yes just because it's hard to say no. When someone is using tears, sweet words, or emotional blackmail disguised as affection, that's when you have to ask yourself, why should I pay the price for their mistakes? This isn't about being selfish. This is about self-respect. And it starts with you. If you don't set boundaries, no one else will. Continuing to accept the burdens of others will only leave you feeling drained, invisible, and frustrated. And that, my friend, is a mistake you simply cannot afford. Life is too short to keep living like this. At this stage, you deserve peace, joy, and time for yourself. You deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to rest, to finally do the things you've always dreamed of. without always being pulled back into putting out fires that other people started. You've earned the right to live freely, to be who you are, and to enjoy the serenity that you've worked so hard to create. If you feel like you're a prisoner of other people's responsibilities, then it's time to break those chains, set yourself free, once and for all. You've given enough. Now, it's time to take care of you. This isn't about offering help in tough moments. It's about carrying the weight of problems that were never yours to begin with. Let me be very clear. This is one of those decisions that practically shouts, don't do it. Stop dragging around guilt, emotional debts, and responsibilities that belong to others. Life doesn't wait for you to catch up. And trust me, the things you ignore today will weigh even heavier tomorrow. Ask yourself once again, why are you carrying all of this? If you can't find a good reason, it's time to let go. Why keep holding on to things that are not yours to carry? Because no one, and I mean no one, will take better care of you than you can take care of yourself. Let's talk about one common example that often ends up being more harmful than helpful: being asked to lend money. Unless it's a true emergency, don't even think about it. Imagine this. You're enjoying a quiet morning, sipping your coffee, looking out the window, savoring a rare moment of peace. Then, suddenly, your phone rings. It's someone close to you, maybe a child, a sibling, a relative, or even an old friend. The fact that they're calling feels strange because they never call. You pick up, thinking they just want to check in, but instead, they ask for money. It doesn't start as a huge request. It's framed as a temporary loan, and you think, why not help? I can manage. But here's where the trap is set. This seemingly small favor slowly turns into a bottomless pit. And before you know it, you've opened a door that's nearly impossible to close. Lending money at this stage of your life is like handing over the keys to your house and hoping it'll come back in the same condition. But how many times have you heard stories about people who lend money only to never see it again? It's heartbreaking, but it's the cold, hard truth. Once you give that money away, it's not just the cash that's gone. You're handing over your peace of mind, your emotional stability, and in some cases, your trust. That's a direct hit to your happiness. This is the stage in life when you should be enjoying the calm you fought so hard to achieve. You deserve to rest, to breathe, to live without constantly worrying about others' financial problems. Lending money now could very well become one of the most expensive choices you ever make, not just in terms of finances, but in emotional cost. It's not about being stingy or selfish. It's about respecting yourself. It's about setting boundaries to protect your well-being. Imagine if, in the future, you face a health emergency or a sudden need for money. What would you do if the money you lent out is still gone? It's not about turning your back on people you care about. It's about protecting yourself from being left with nothing, while others take advantage of your kindness. What starts as a simple request for help can spiral into unnecessary pain and consequences, robbing you of your peace and well-being. It's like leaving your door wide open, hoping no one walks in and takes what's yours. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's already too late. Anything that robs you of your peace is never worth it. Your peace of mind is worth more than any amount of money. Believe me, the money you lend rarely comes back as easily as it went. And then, when you finally say no, comes the guilt trip, but you're my father, mother, brother, sister. You should help. The emotional manipulation begins. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. But here's the thing. No one should ever make you feel like you're obligated to sacrifice your happiness and peace for their convenience. You are allowed to set boundaries. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to say, enough. But if you're my father or my brother, you have to help me. That's when emotional blackmail strikes, making you feel trapped, manipulated by guilt, as if saying no is an unforgivable sin. But let me make this crystal clear. You are under no obligation to save anyone, especially if it means drowning yourself in the process. Your life is yours to live, and you don't owe anyone the sacrifice of your peace, your stability, or your well-being. If you're not happy, change. You've spent so many years giving, working, and sacrificing for others. At this stage in your life, you don't have the luxury of wasting time rowing a sinking boat. That's not heroism. It's self-destruction. It's time to recognize that our actions often speak louder than words. Many times, we don't even realize how someone is taking advantage of our kindness, our generosity, and our sense of duty. This isn't about extreme situations. It's about the constant, unending favors that drain you bit by bit. Emergencies, like a true medical crisis, are different. But this is about the endless favors, draining your savings, while the other person goes on with their life as if nothing is wrong. The worst part? Once your wallet is empty, there's no going back. You're not at an age where you can afford to start over financially. It's like driving down a winding road and losing your rearview mirror. The opportunity to go back is gone, and so is your peace of mind. So, open your eyes, stop begging for attention, affection, or respect from people who only show up when they need something. Ask yourself, is this love or just dependence in disguise? The worst thing you can do is sacrifice your future, your well-being, for people who couldn't care less about yours. Someone who truly loves you would never put you in a position where you have to choose between your stability and their convenience. And if they do that, they don't deserve your time or your effort. It's shocking, isn't it? After all the hard work you've put in over the years, you still find yourself justifying why you deserve to enjoy the peace you've earned. But here's a painful truth. Those who don't value you, who don't respect your boundaries, don't deserve your time or your money. You must learn to say enough. Don't be afraid to be different. And most importantly, don't be afraid to say no. Remember, peace of mind is a luxury that must be protected. What's easy isn't always right. And in this case, the right thing is protecting what took you a lifetime to build your peace, your freedom, your happiness. Life doesn't wait, and you can't afford to let it slip by. This is your time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to live freely, to savor what you've worked for, not to watch it slip away in the blink of an eye. So, the next time someone comes to you with a sad story and an outstretched hand, ask yourself, are they thinking about my well-being as much as I think about theirs? And if the answer is no, then you already know what to do. This isn't about being cold or unkind. It's about being wise. The good only arrives when you leave the bad behind. And in this case, the bad is anyone who sees you as a resource, a cash machine, rather than a human being. Reaching your later years should mean peace, shouldn't it? After all you've been through, imagine a life of calm, enjoying the fruits of your labor, finally having time for yourself. But then, out of nowhere, someone comes along and asks you to step into a family conflict that you didn't even start. Maybe it's a son or daughter saying, "Mom, Dad, you have to talk to your brother." Or things are bad. Can't you do something? Without even thinking, you jump in trying to mediate, like a referee on a battlefield that's not yours to fight. But once you step in, you suddenly find yourself in the eye of a storm you never saw coming. Now, imagine something even more painful. Your children arguing over the inheritance of your home, that place you built with so much effort, filled with memories, love, and dreams. A place that, to you, is a haven, but to them, it becomes nothing more than money, a battle they're desperate to win. You sit there helpless, watching something you hold dear become a source of division. It's a tragedy, because even when you try to mediate with the best intentions, all you end up doing is fueling the fire, giving them more reasons to fight and drift further apart. This is the reality we must face. Your peace is priceless, and it's time to stop sacrificing it for others' selfish desires. You have the right to protect your heart, your mind, and your home. The moment you step into someone else's battle, you risk losing yourself in the process. It's time to stand up for what truly matters, your peace. In the end, you come to a painful realization. You can't fix what's already broken. It's a hard truth to swallow, especially when you've invested so much energy and emotion into trying to make things right. The worst part? While you wear yourself out trying to solve a problem that isn't within your control, the price you pay is enormous. Your peace of mind starts to fray, your happiness begins to crumble, and even your health, something so precious, begins to unravel. That's when the harshest lesson hits you. You lose yourself in the desperate attempt to help others, forgetting that, in the process, you're only destroying your sense of self. Life is too short to waste on problems that don't belong to you. It's time to recognize that you've earned the right to prioritize your well-being, to seek the peace you've fought so hard to achieve. If someone asks you to step into a family conflict or to carry a burden that isn't yours, ask yourself, is it worth risking my peace over something I can't control? Because deep down, you already know the answer. You can't save others by sinking with them. Life isn't about carrying other people's battles. It's about protecting what brings you calm, joy, and meaning. This isn't selfishness. It's self-respect. If you choose not to get involved, you're not letting anyone down. On the contrary, you're choosing yourself, your health, and your happiness. So, next time someone tries to pull you into a family argument, remember, you are not required to carry the weight of what isn't yours. Your well-being matters more than any drama. The peace you fought so hard for has no price. Think twice before giving in. If you're not happy, change. Peace is priceless, and it should never be bargained away for someone else's peace of mind. Don't waste your energy fighting a war that isn't yours. The truth may sting, but it will set you free. Say no when you need to, and that's it. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Don't agree to be a pawn in a game that isn't yours. Tranquility is a luxury you must protect, because if you don't, you'll find yourself stuck in a decision you never should have made. Put yourself first. Take the reins of your own life. Stop merely surviving and start living. Never risk your peace for something outside your control. Now, let's talk about something even more personal. When people ask you to change who you are or how you live, what happens when someone close to you, your child, your sibling, or a friend, starts asking you to change the way you live your life? As if your time has passed, as if everything you've experienced no longer matters. It's like a blow straight to the heart. They want you to forget who you are, to erase everything you've built. It feels as though, just because you're older, everything you do is suddenly wrong. Imagine hearing things like, "Don't dress like that, you look old," or "You still listen to that outdated music," or even, "Don't talk like that, you're too old for this stuff." They aren't just asking you to change something small. They're trying to strip away your identity, telling you that everything that defines you, your memories, your experiences, your passions, no longer has value. That's a loss no one should ever have to endure. Instead of seeing you as someone full of experience, wisdom, and strength, they treat you like someone who needs to be updated to fit into their world. This isn't just disrespect. It's an erasure of your essence. And you should never let anyone rob you of that. The beauty of getting older is that you've lived, you've learned, and you've earned the right to be yourself, fully, unapologetically, and without compromise. Don't let anyone make you feel like your life, your experiences, or your identity are somehow inferior or outdated. You are worthy, exactly as you are. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me, as if your preferences, your memories, and the things that bring you joy are somehow wrong. But let's be clear, what they're asking for isn't just an update. They're asking you to erase yourself, to let go of a vital part of who you are, just to fit into something that doesn't even represent you. And here's the key question: Why should you have to change for them? Why should you give up your right to be yourself? What about your right to enjoy what makes you happy? To wear what you like? To listen to the music that takes you back to your happiest memories? You've reached a stage in life where everything that defines your values, your habits, your experiences should be celebrated, not judged, not corrected. But still, you hear things like, "Dad, Mom, it's time to stop being so traditional. You sound weird. Loosen up, change those habits." Not everything has to be so strict. But they forget one crucial thing: those habits are part of your story. And your story is something that no one has the right to rewrite. Who decided that being yourself is a sin? No one has the right to tell you how to live your life, especially when you've lived long enough to know what brings you peace. The freedom you've earned over the years should never be exchanged for someone else's mere suggestion. The worst part: if you give in, if you start doubting yourself and going along with the flow, you'll end up losing your essence, destroying what makes you unique, what you've spent a lifetime building. Let's be honest, there's no blindness worse than that of someone who refuses to see. They don't see the years of effort, the lessons learned, the sacrifices made. They don't understand that you've paid a price to live a full life with its ups and downs, but always staying true to yourself. What they're asking, even if they don't say it outright, is for you to give up who you are. But, you can't and shouldn't do that. Your authenticity is your greatest treasure. Don't trade it for anything or anyone. This isn't about making a small adjustment. It's about completely rebuilding who you are. And let me tell you something that's a recipe for disaster. Once you give in and begin to change just to fit in, what you lose may never come back. There's no way to recover what was sacrificed. Imagine one day your child looking at you and saying, "Stop talking about that stuff. That was years ago. Just let it go." They have no idea what it takes to stay true to yourself, to stand firm when everyone is telling you to move on, to change, to keep up. The worst thing that could happen is allowing those words to drag you down, to make you stop being who you are, just so others can feel more comfortable. Can you imagine losing your identity just to fit into a mold that was never yours? That would be an unnecessary, painful fall. There is nothing worse than sacrificing what brings you happiness just to please others. Don't let yourself be manipulated by guilt. This is your life, and you get to decide how to live it. If someone asks you to change something that defines you, something that brings you peace, don't do it. The peace and happiness you've built, everything that brought you to this point, is worth far more than any opinion or suggestion. Don't put your life on pause for anyone. If your habits, your way of living, what you love, if these things make you feel good, no one has the right to ask you to change. Life is now, and everything you've lived through so far holds immeasurable value. Don't waste your energy on anyone who tries to make you feel small for being yourself. And don't settle for less than you deserve. If someone asks you to stop being who you are just to please them, remember this: your life is made up of choices, and the most important one is choosing to stay true to yourself. You've earned the right to live your life on your terms. Now, let's talk about another kind of request, one that feels all too familiar. When someone asks you to put their feelings above your own, what happens when someone you love, whether it's your child, your sibling, or a close friend, demands that you prioritize their emotions over your own? It's as if they're silently telling you that your happiness no longer matters. That's because you're older, your feelings and needs have become secondary. Imagine this: the time comes when your children say that your choices are disrupting their peace. They tell you that what you want to do, what you feel, isn't what they want. And they say, "Don't put us in this situation. Dad, Mom, why can't you just do what I'm asking? It would make me feel better." The worst thing you could do is give in to that pressure. What they're asking is for you to cancel yourself out, to forget your desires and needs, so they can feel more at ease. It's as if they're turning your life into a stage where they get to call all the shots. It's like they're saying, forget about yourself. What matters is that I feel good. But here's the truth. That is a direct hit to your happiness, because while they get to feel comfortable in their world, you end up dimming the light of your own life so they can shine. Don't let that happen, because no one has the right to ask you to set aside what makes you feel fulfilled. Who said your well-being should depend on how others feel? Every time you face these kinds of demands, it's as if they're telling you that you don't deserve happiness, that your own needs don't matter. They say, do this for me. But the truth is, if you give in, you'll realize far too late that the damage is done. You'll have sacrificed something incredibly valuable, your inner peace, the calm you've worked so hard to create, the balance you fought for. Through every lesson learned and every challenge overcome, don't settle for less than you deserve. You can't keep living as though you're a supporting character in someone else's story. Imagine someone saying to you, if you don't do this, you'll hurt me, you'll disappoint me. Suddenly you're trapped in a situation where your own needs no longer matter, just because someone else can't handle their emotions. Don't let that happen, because in the end, no one has the right to ask you to stop being who you are just to satisfy emotional whims. Your life is yours, and you should always remember that you are the one who decides how to live it. You might find yourself pushed into a situation where it feels impossible to be yourself without feeling like you're hurting someone. But let me tell you this, your life is not supposed to revolve around others. It's as if you're constantly hearing, don't make me feel uncomfortable with your decisions. And suddenly, you're expected to change, to adapt, to sacrifice everything you are, just so someone else doesn't have to deal with their discomfort. But what about your feelings? What about your well-being? This isn't selfishness. It's self-love. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't prioritize your peace, who will do it for you? It's time to stop sacrificing who you are for the sake of others' comfort. You have every right to live your life fully, unapologetically, and without compromise. Set those boundaries, protect your peace, and remember that your happiness is just as important as anyone else's. If you don't choose yourself, who will? If you keep giving in to the expectations of others, you'll find yourself completely drained, leaving behind everything that once energized you, everything that made you feel alive. The worst part? You'll miss the one and only chance to be truly happy. When you constantly put yourself in second place, just so others can shine, you end up dimming your light. You become a mere spectator in your own life, while others decide how you should live, what you should do, and even how you should feel. Don't allow that to happen to you. You know exactly what happens when someone demands too much from you. You end up stuck in their expectations, constantly bending to their will, and the truth is that you can't be allowed anymore. Now, more than ever, your life needs to be guided by what makes you feel good, by what brings you peace. You've earned the right to live freely, without being constantly weighed down by others' needs and desires. Don't settle for less than you deserve. It's time to put yourself first. Stop being a prisoner to what others want from you. Stop doing things just to avoid disappointing them. If someone asks you to place their happiness above your own, stop right there and say, enough. Your happiness, your peace, and your choices have immense value, and it's time you started treating them as such. Don't waste another minute trying to change the truth, trying to appease others, or trying to live according to their standards. It's your life, and it's time you took the reins. Thank you so much for watching. By now, you've heard some powerful truths about taking control of your life, setting boundaries, and protecting your peace. I want to know what has resonated with you the most from today's video. What is one thing you've learned that you're committed to bringing into your life? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts with us. Your feedback is valuable and can inspire others who might be going through the same challenges. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content that empowers you to live your best life. Remember, You deserve to prioritize your happiness, your peace, and your well-being. Keep shining your light, and we'll see you in the next video.